What is going on, guys? And welcome back to another episode of the Kinetic Performance Podcast. Okay, so what I got for you guys today is these are the 7 at-home gym workout equipment that I would buy if I was building out a home gym while balling on a budget, right? So I have been training since I was 18. That senior year of high school, 17, 18 years old, that was around when I really started to work out, right? Like growing up, I would just be in my bedroom doing hundreds of push-ups a day, sit-ups, and pull-ups with my pull-up bar in my bedroom. And that's basically all I would do, or I would go and run track and field that I did for part of middle school and part of high school. But then from like sophomore year to senior year, I really just didn't do anything because I did not care. And I just wanted to have fun with my friends and watch a lot of TV and eat junk food, you know, like any other teenager out there. So normal things, right? So, but after, almost 10 years now. I just realized that because I turned 27 in like 2 weeks. And so I started either 17 or 18. So yeah, about a decade long of training. These are the 7 must-have gym equipment that I would get if I was building a home gym right now while on a budget. Through different trainings, all the different training styles I have done, the modalities from CrossFit, Olympic weightlifting, powerlifting, bodybuilding style, training for physique, training for performance, training for just aesthetics, and just for health, mobility, all of the education that I have acquired, and just all of that in that bubble. And if I were to extract 7 items for you that you should have in your home arsenal, no matter what your goals are, where they fall on the whole spectrum of physique, performance, or just health, these are the 7 items that I would recommend to anyone. Okay, and so the way that I'm going to go about this list is I'm going to start from the bottom at number 7, and I'm going to work my way up, right? And the reason why I wanted to really share my top 7 must-haves is because we are in the holiday season, right? Thanksgiving was just the previous week, and now we are into December, and then we have the whole month of December up until Christmas, holiday season. And so during this time of year, a lot of things are still on sale, right? A lot of things are on discounted prices, end of the year closeout sales, all that stuff within the retail world. And so many people right now are trying to buy equipment either for themselves, for a family member, or for loved ones, everyone above. Option E. But yeah, so since a lot of equipment, a lot of things are on sale right now, and since with the new year right around the corner as well, most people's goals for the new year will revolve around fitness and health in some capacity. That's like, I think one of the top 5 goals of the new year whenever they do surveys of just general population is that most time people will say something health or fitness related. And so now would be a good time for me to share with you the items that I would purchase. So then say if you were in the market to get something for yourself for at home training equipment, or for someone else that you know, family or friend, that are in the market that's looking to build out their own home gym, right? So and then with that, since I'm going to share you the 7 items, there's 7, I would say, check boxes that I wanted to check if I was someone born on a budget and things like that. So I would say all these equipment would gear towards, like I said at the beginning, anyone on the spectrum, depending on what their goals are. But these 7, I would honestly say for this audience, I want this to be as beneficial for the people who just really don't know anything, who just need to get the wheels spinning. So the first one is barrier of entry, right? So many things you buy, say, like one type of equipment, but then you have to buy 2 or 3 extra things to add to it to be able to use it, or, oh, you get too strong, but then you got to add more things, pay more things. And it's kind of like a domino effect. And it's just like you buy one thing, but to use it, you have to spend more and more and more. And so the equipment that I'm going to share with you, the list of them, they could be used all on their own and in conjunction with each other. So that's another point, as that they're able to complement one another. So then you have an even bigger list of possible exercises and movements that you can perform at home. So the first thing was I wanted these equipment to help lower the barrier of entry for anyone, even if you are just someone who's never trained before. You're someone who is a single mom in their 50s and you've never touched any weight before and you just want to start somewhere. Lower the barrier. I want this to be items that you can start and benefit from day one. It won't have to take you years and years until you actually gain something out of it. So lower barrier of entry. Equipment will complement one another. The learning curve, right? So anytime you do something new, there's a level of learning that will have to be done, right? No matter what it is, you have to start learning. You have to start learning something or how to figure it out, right? But some things, depending on the movement, the exercise, will require a lot more attention, focus, time to learn it before you gain too much, before you really reap the benefits. And some things you're able to kind of get things rolling a lot quicker. So I wanted to lower the learning curve for you guys. And then again, like I said at the beginning, ball on a budget. So everything is going to be affordable. Again, money is a very sensitive topic, and that can mean differently for everyone within their budgets. What's feasible, totally get that, but you will see the price range between all these equipment is anywhere from $18 up to about $167 is the highest. So everything is under $200 each equipment, and I think I did the math out at the end. Basically, you can get all 7 of these equipment, depending on different brands and stuff like that. And you can basically upfront, if you wanted to buy all 7, you'd be spending $500 to $600. That's pretty cheap. Like for a whole gym setup that I'm about to share with you, that's pretty awesome. Okay, the next thing is storage considerations, right? So say all these stuff, you can just shove it into a corner. You can into your corner of your basement, corner of your garage, even your bedroom, and they can also be carried with anywhere. Say you were going on a trip, like for example, over the winter season. You're doing a cabin trip in Colorado or somewhere, and you wanted to be able to work out a little bit too. These are gear items that you can take with you and put it in your backpack, put it in your car, take it with you, travel with it. That's not too much of a hassle and doesn't take up too much storage, cargo storage in your vehicle or just room inside your home. So big plus there, because you don't want some giant bulky thing taking up so much space, and that just adds more friction and resistance to you buying something, and it just goes down that kind of rabbit hole. So storage and be able to move it anywhere, those are 2 more really big things. And then their versatility. You can do so many different things with each of these equipment, train different muscle groups, different movement patterns. Possibilities are endless. Okay, so now I'm just going to jump right into it, and let's do it. Okay, so the number 7, again, I'm going to work my way up from number 7 is like bottom of the totem pole, and number 1 is like the number 1 thing I would get. So we're going to build from bottom up. Let's do it. Okay, so number 7, a doorway pull-up bar. Yes. So basically, I had one when I was like 15 or 16, and I've had one ever since. Any friend's house I ever gone to, everyone's always had one. They're basically $18 to $25 that you can get on Amazon. And with all of these equipment, I'm going to have the name, the pricing, and all of the links to them, and add them all into the show notes. That way you have a point of reference. You can just go click and go find it. Pull it up on your phone, your laptop, and you can start browsing for yourself, right? These are just 7 different ones that I have found. Of course, there's different competing brands. that you may find that may be cheaper, that may be more expensive, just depending on what you're looking for. But I just wanted to give you guys a point of reference on what I have found, and then you can go from there. Excuse me. But again, also, no way, shape, or form am I affiliated with any of these brands, companies, items, anything like that. I just genuinely really like these equipment, and I know that if you were in the market to buy something for yourself to build at a home gym that's at home and all the things I've listed earlier, I feel like this would be really helpful to you or someone that you know of. So number 7 is that doorway pull-up bar. And I understand that not many individuals, not everyone can perform a bodyweight pull-up. Totally get it. So for those of you who can, this would be an awesome thing because you can just latch it onto the door frame of really any door frame that you have in your house that allows you to fit it. And it's always pretty sturdy. I've never heard anyone really kind of falling from it or really having too much issues. So you can get it on Amazon. It's $18, super cheap. And you can also detach it off the door frame and bring it onto the ground, and say you are someone who is working on push-ups. You can increase the incline on it and help with that. Do some dips with it, different ways. And if you are still working on building up your pull-up strength or volume of them, you can definitely practice doing these by doing negatives or just trying to hang from it and work on your grip strength and stuff like that. I wouldn't say this is like the number one item to have at home if you are really trying to focus and work on your pull-up strength. But this is why this is number 7. It won't be super beneficial to every single person, but for a lot of y'all and for the price point, it's a really good must-have home item that I have found. Okay, number 6 is going to be a medicine ball. So for any of my functional fitness friends out there, CrossFit friends, y'all know what medicine balls are. Whenever the CrossFit WOD, the coach programs wall balls, I am sure 99% of you guys are like, yep, I am not showing up. Wall balls are on a menu. I am going to take it as a active recovery day. I'm going home. Going to use that lacrosse ball. Sorry, coach, not showing up. Okay, but those of you who have taken the CrossFit Level 1 courses or who do go to CrossFit classes, I'm sure most of you guys have been introduced to some way how medicine balls can be programmed into your warm-ups or even during your, every gym calls it differently, but like foundations, intro classes, you know what I'm trying to say, to where you can practice so many different movement patterns with just a medicine ball, right? So basically, for you guys to just kind of visualize what this is, it's just a large ball that is stuffed and it's weighted. So they can be weighted as low, I think as 4 pounds up to 35 pounds. And you can do so many different things with this ball, right? You hold it in front of you. So for the first example, you can use it to basically mimic the big 5 lifts, right? The big 3 powerlifting lifts. So a squat, a deadlift, and a bench. And then you can also use it to mimic a snatch and a clean, right? So that way you are going through the proper mechanics. The medicine ball is in front of you. It's light, so then there's not any too much unnecessary tension load anywhere to where it really hurts you, as long as you're able-bodied and moving well and stuff like that. So the medicine ball is a really awesome equipment to have that you can practice with all that stuff to help build good movement patterns. And you can also use it for endurance conditioning workouts like doing wall balls and WODs, hit exercises, things like that. So medicine ball, they run anywhere from 75 to 133, a pretty good equipment to have on deck. So number 5 is a adjustable bench, right? So with that, you can use the bench to, I'm just going to say number 5 and number 4. So number 5 is the adjustable bench, and number 4, they will complement with one another, is a pair of medium weight dumbbells. Okay, so dumbbells weight is expensive, anywhere between $1 to $2 to $3 per pound, depending on what you're buying. And so I looked up like those power blocks to where the weight is adjustable, like dial adjusted, and those things get really expensive, like $3 to $5, almost $700. And so I was just thinking, hey, if it was just me, from what I have seen from all the different people I have trained, male or female, I think a good range would be anywhere between 35 to 65 pounds. That way, you can just buy one pair and you can just get through the main big movement patterns with just that pair of dumbbells that you can do with both of them at once or with a single arm, and just that way a different change of stimulus, and you can still go through your big 5 movement patterns with it, of any type of squat variations, hinge variations, lunge variations, carry variations, and oh my gosh, I'm pushing variations. Yes, I was like 5. What's the 5th one I didn't say? So 35 to 65, those are a good range that I feel like people can stay between and most people can benefit between. And you can just get one pair and be good there, and then use the bench as a way for you to use it to do a flat bench, incline press. You can flip over. You can use it as a fixed point to do bend over rows, seal rows, chest supported rows, or you can even use the bench itself as a step up. So you can do weighted step ups with the dumbbells and the adjustable bench, or you can also use the bench as almost a mobility tool, right? You can do a pigeon stretch on it, a frog stretch, stretching your hamstrings, your hips, really good lower body. Same for upper body, as you can bring the bench up and use it to help stretch out your upper body as well. So it's very versatile in that sense. And an adjustable bench from Rogue I found is like, the cheapest one I found was like $119. So that's a good, so these are 2 good items that may complement each other, but they also work separately that you can do. Okay. Oh, and then the last thing with the bench is you can even do some plyometric with it by jumping up onto the bench or doing depth jumps, meaning that you're standing on the bench and you're jumping off of it onto the ground and trying to jump up from there. All different types of plyometric stuff that you can do with the bench. Okay. So number 3 is going to be a conditioning piece here. So a jump rope. That's right. So I was like, okay, you need some type of conditioning component to all of these equipment. That way you have something besides just walking or running, is jump roping. Jump ropes are as cheap as $30. There's so many different types. There's the thicker, fatter ones, the weighted ones, or you can go with more speed rope within the CrossFit world. And so I will include one from Rogue that's for like $30. That was the cheapest one I found on their website, and it will last you for a very long time. And you can do so many different conditioning movements with this. You can do it by itself with both legs. One leg, you can pair it up with movements with the dumbbells for some type of HIIT, CrossFit, WOD workout, with the medicine ball, pull-ups. You can really start piling all these together and creating a really good workout that plan with these equipment that you have at home with a lot of different variety. So yeah, as a conditioning piece, jump ropes. Yeah. Number 2 is TRX bands. So these are basically suspension bands that you can hang either from your door frame, or you can bolt them into a stud, into a wall in your garage or inside your basement, something like that. And they're just suspension bands, right? So I really like these for individuals who are still learning how to squat, how to hinge, or how to lunge. And it's a way for them to do it with their body weight, but it assists them as well. So the more assistance you use from them, the more you're still getting the range of motion, practicing the movement pattern stuff, and then you can just release the tension on the bands and until you get to just body weight by yourself doing it. And you can do a lot of really good movements with it, like upright rows, chest supported rows with it, because you could be leaning more of a incline with it, depending on your setup and everything, and challenge the stabilizing the smaller muscles of your shoulders, right? So like think you're doing a dumbbell press or a chest press with dumbbells, you're challenging more so the strength of those muscle groups of your shoulders. But when you're using the TRX bands to maybe hold them in different ways, doing a face pulls or flies, reverse flies with it, something like that, and that way you can, or even just isometric holds, you can challenge the stability function of your shoulders or other body parts as well. So TRX bands are great tools to use, especially if you are more of a beginner, to help you learn a lot of different movement patterns. They're $150 and they're very friendly. And as you build more confidence and more competence in your movement patterns, you can lean off of them and then just use more of your whole body weight. So really awesome tool to have. And then the absolute number one item that I would recommend to anyone, you could be living in the middle of nowhere, right? You could be in rural Nebraska, rural Kansas, since I am currently in the Midwest, from the Midwest. Say the closest gym is not for another 30, 40 minutes, and you want to be able to train at home, but you want to be, on a budget, and you want to get the most bang for your buck. You want to be able to build muscle, gain strength, gain endurance, and then also on some of the aerobic side of things, you want to be able to train your heart. You want to be able to breathe a little better and just challenge you. But then there's also, you want to be able to recover a little bit too as well, like active recovery movements. So the number one item that I would recommend to anyone, some of y'all already know this probably, is a sled. Yes. So the number one thing I found, the cheapest one on the Rogue website, is a Rogue Slice sled. So this is a staple strength and conditioning piece that, how do I want to say this? Any of y'all who did high school sports, football, or just like you guys know, like old warehouse gyms, strength conditioning gyms, old schools gyms, whatever. I've just said that twice, but a sled. Basically, for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, is it's not a sled that you use to ride down a hill during the winter. No, think of a giant, not a giant, but like a good size sheet of metal, and then on one end there are two poles that stands out of it, and in the middle there's a single pole, and you can just stack weight on it, and you can push it, and then you can grab band like straps, and you can walk backwards with it. You can walk with it moving forward, backwards, side to side. You can hold the band above you and walk with it. You can do face pulls with the sled. You can do loaded carries while doing sled tracks, like holding dumbbells in your hands, or have a heavy backpack on and walk forward or backwards with the sled, or hold a medicine ball in front of you to challenge your core muscles in front of you, because the weight's in front. It's going to want to pull you forward, but then you're going to have to use your abdominal muscles to pull you back up as you're walking forward as well. The sled will just be a brutal equipment to challenge your calves, the muscles of your legs, your glutes, your core, your upper body, to stabilize in the pole. Just a sled is so versatile. You can do this if you live in like a rural area so far away from the gym, but you want to be able to load and challenge your muscle in some way. You can push the sled around your property. The more weight on it, the more you're going to push it, the harder it is, and you just got to dig deep and just push, or pull, walk, lunge with it, all those type of things. Or you could be in a normal suburban neighborhood and you could be on your street with it doing the same thing. It doesn't take up much space, and they cost as low as $167, and they go up as expensive as $300. And yes, this is one equipment that you would probably want to buy weight. bumper or iron plates and placed on it to make it heavier. But the thing is, since it's just a sheet of metal, you can make it heavier by other methods, like your dumbbells. You can place the dumbbells inside of it. Boom. If you have little kiddos and you're a parent and you want to have do a fun thing with the family, have one of them just like sit on it as you pull them around. And yeah, like I've even seen people walk around their neighborhoods while pushing the stroller of their kids. I'm just pushing them, having a good, family time, whatever, walking around their neighborhoods with a sled behind them. Or you can make it like a fun thing with the kids, and if they see you do that, it becomes normal, and then they'll want to do it, and it's just like a cascade of healthy movement, behaviors, encouragement, all these type of good things, without getting too deep into that, which we will in future episodes. But yeah, so a sled is so versatile. You can use it as a recovery piece because of the way that it's demanding muscular contractions on you. A lot of the soreness that comes from exercise has to do with the eccentric phase of a lift. So the way that you want to imagine how a muscle fiber behaves is, I'm just going to use my arm for example, right? A lot of you guys know what a bicep curl is. So if you have your arm extended in front of you, your bicep is like straight. It's stretched. So as you bring your palm to your face, you're shortening the muscle. You're just compressing the muscle together. And think of that as the concentric phase. And then because that's where you're producing the force. You use that force to squeeze that bicep to make it shorter, right? And then as you bring your arm back out, you're stretching it. That's the eccentric phase. That's the elongation of your muscle fibers. And that is where a lot of if you want to think about it as like micro muscle tears are happening. The byproduct of muscle damage occurs, and the soreness really comes from that eccentric phase. But as you're pushing a sled, it really takes out that eccentric phase, and it's all concentric, if you think about it that way. Because as you're walking with it, your knees are coming up to your chest, and then your quads. Think of that. It's already completely stretched, and now you just need to dig your feet into the ground to push the sled in front of you forward, and then your quad muscles will shorten. So basically, it's all concentric. So you can use it as a really good way to build strength, build muscle, but also for just active recovery, just to get really a lot of blood flow in without all that eccentric damage to your muscle fibers. So sleds are so versatile. You can use them for so many different things. And oh yeah, back to loading it. Say you have sandbags, right, in your garage, or you have bags of salt for when it gets icy out. You can just load it and you can make it heavy. So versatile. Number one equipment, checks all the boxes. And I'm sure that a lot of you guys are thinking, why didn't I mention a barbell? Because most people who knows me is that I am a lover of the barbell. From the powerlifting movements to the Olympic weightlifting movements, I love the barbell, right? The barbell holds very dear to my heart for strength, hypertrophy, all that stuff. But why didn't I mention it? So the reason why I didn't mention it is because it can get very expensive very fast, right? The barbell itself could be anywhere from $200 to $500, $600, depending on how nice it is. And the cheapest one, I think it's like maybe $200 or $300. Or it could be more than that. I haven't looked at them in a while, but they're pretty expensive. And then you have to buy all the weight to load onto it. And the learning curve of them is really high because it's an external load. So you have to learn how to move your body around the object. And it's not very forgiving for a beginner. So if you don't know anything and you're trying to teach yourself with no prior history of training education in your garage, this could be a really hard thing to start learning. Not saying you can't, but it adds another layer of difficulty to it. And so I wanted to keep this 7 list really user friendly to lower the barrier of entry, and a barbell takes up a lot of space as well. And to use a lot of its purposes, you're going to have to maybe buy a squat rack. a rack. That's another several $100s. And everything I've listed so far, each individual item itself is under 200, and all accumulating the price of it all, the grand total, ranges anywhere from 500 to 700 if you were to get all 7. On the cheaper end of things, and depending how strong you are, it could be up to that 700. But like, if you're balling on a budget, you can basically get away with like $500, $600, $700 of a fully decked out gym at home that will check all your boxes. And yeah, really can't beat these 7 items. And yeah, and depends on your goals and all that stuff, of course. But if your goal is to just find some type of harmony between physique, between strength, performance, or health, these 7, I feel like, really checks all those boxes, and all the 7 original things that people are really looking for. If you're a beginner, to lower the barrier of entry, lower the learning curve, make it affordable. They complement one another. Storage consideration, the versatility of it all, and you can use them anywhere and everywhere. So, if you like this episode and you found this helpful, or you know someone that may benefit from this, please share this with a friend. As always, please leave a comment, rate the show, share it if you like it, because that will help the channel grow so much. And again, I thank you guys so much for listening, giving me your time and attention. And yeah, hope everyone has a good one, and see you in the next episode. Peace out, guys. Oh!